Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. And now here's your host, Joe, Panther III.
Hey, hello there, wrestling fans. Welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am Joe Panther III, and we are in the middle of Women's Wrestling Month. And Ringside crew, it's an early birthday for my guest. Introduce yourself to my internationally known audience.
Hey everyone, my name is Adrian Myscira. I'm an independent wrestler based out of New Mexico, and yeah, I'm excited for this. I've been looking forward to it.
Awesome. So, what was your first, glimmer? What was the first match you ever experienced that made you want to do this?
Oh, that's hard because I feel like I grew up with wrestling just constantly, just playing on the television because my parents were big wrestling fans, and then my friends were wrestling fans, so I just kind of always had it behind me. I think there was a steel cage match, an early memory I have of it was Shawn Michaels, and I can't remember who his opponent was, but I just remember the gear. Yeah, it was like a gear he wore that I remember.
I'm a 90s wrestling fan. All you can say is, as soon as you say Shawn Michaels, I immediately go, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, or Razor
right,
Ramones.
yeah.
You say, if you're like a 90s kid and you see a ladder, immediately you do the Shawn Michaels and you go under the ladder. You go underneath the ladder.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I recently watched a Shawn Michaels match. It was a ladder match. It was against Razor. I think everyone knows it, but he did this part where Razor drops his pants and Shawn kind of moons the camera. It's like live television. It's kind of funny. He moons the camera with his pants down, and then he hits Razor off. Razor falls, and then he goes and he hits the elbow with his pants still down and ass still out, basically. And right, so he hits him, boom, and then he sits up and he pulls his pants up, and then it says "Heartbreak Kid," and it's just the camera shot was really good. And I was like, yeah, that's classic Shawn. I feel I don't know. I feel like that was his idea. I would like to know, but it was really good.
Imagine you make it to the end of the performance center and you get on a line shaking hands and you get to Shawn. You're like, Shawn, question.
I gotta know. Was the butt was that your idea or what? Or was that?
I remember a lot of clout with Vince. You know, all those stories about Shawn and Vince. Don't you never want to say sunny days in front of Shawn. He'd probably giggle and
then brush it off, right?
Then you get escorted huge arms outside the performance center.
That's kind of funny, yeah. My feet dragging.
There's your bag. like a bum in a club. Yoink, yeek, out the door. So wow, the first thing, Shawn Michaels match. So how long did it take you to find the training facility that you got trained at?
Ooh, I had been looking at training facilities pretty early as a teenager, but living in New Mexico, there wasn't a lot of things open for me. And especially where I was, the closest one had been at the time Santa Fe, and that was hours away. So when I finally had the money, I had already been looking to go to Colorado or Arizona. And I'm such even though I'm from New Mexico, I don't like the heat. I don't like being hot. I don't like sweating. So I was like, okay, Colorado it is. So that's where I went to train at Rocky Mountain Pro, and that's what I eventually decided on.
I know a lot of wrestlers from the Colorado area.
Yeah.
And I've had quite a few of them on the podcast. That time zone, did the time zone kill you? Because you're from the West Coast, from the Mexico.
Oh no, it was the same. So right now it's about to be 6. Over there it's going to be 6 as well. So that helped a lot too.
I always get confused because I interview people from Colorado. They go mountain time, and I'm like,
yeah.
I get that meme of that guy going,
right, calculate.
Dang it! I'm like, no, don't screw around with my time. East Coast people be like, no, not cool. So
I mean, the cool thing about mountain time though is I feel like we always get stuff early, so that's pretty neat.
So you're in the training, you sit down. did it take a while to click that you're doing what you did, or
Mm,
did it like hit you immediately?
I mean, with me, I'm very so I already kind of had some fundamentals ready for myself. So like when I was younger, I did boxing, and then I had done basketball, and like so I think my coordination was already kind of there because when I actually started wrestling, I feel like I progressed really fast, but that's because I would do two trainings a night. I would go and I'd do like the regular training, which was like 3 hours, and then I'd do lucha training, which was like another 2 hours. So I'd be there for like 5 hours in total. And it was
Mm.
like that for like 6 months. I'd just be back to back, back to back. So like I was able to pick things up pretty fast. And but I think that comes from like just wanting to do this for so long because I didn't get to train until November of 2022. And I had been wanting to for forever, probably since I was like 10. So that was, I think that's what helped me out there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So let's go a little further.
Yeah.
What was it like the first time you got the green light to do your very first match? Did you have gear already? Did you have to do
Ooh.
like shorts was it all built up yet? Did you know your character, or was it just you just going out and just trying to play it off of whatever you were?
Man, it's because like so RMP at that time they didn't really have women, so they needed women, and that kind of and since I was progressing so fast, they gave me the match pretty early. So I started in November 22. I had my first match February 23. So like I was really kind of thrown in, and then like I've watched that match back finally, like because I didn't want to watch it for so long, and I can tell like how much I've improved because I really didn't know what I was doing in that match. And I feel like I didn't really have anything like ready. Like I
Mm.
had gear sent, but then it got stolen. So like stuff just
Oh,
happens,
no.
sometimes. Uh and so my friend Lilith Grimm, she lent me some of her gear, and so that's the match that I used. I had a tag match with her, so she lent me some of her gear, and that's the gear I came out with.
Which Lilith are we talking about? The one with the black eyes that didn't talk? Or is this the
Uh
new version of Lilith?
Lilith, yeah, the hammer Lilith, the Warhammer.
I remember Lilith when she was an OVW, not a speaker, but she did like this fake auto-tune talk voice. Like,
Interesting.
yeah.
No, she's cool. She's cool. I really love her. Yeah.
I'm not dissing on Lilith. No, I'm afraid all my lights will go off, my computer will freeze, and then she'll
Right. Everything's just start flashing. We're gonna get a visit.
I have a proton pack. I know how to stop bad spirits. I got
Don't
traps.
play
I
with the
got.
ghosts.
I'm on the side of being a internationally known podcaster. I'm a Ghostbuster, so
Of
we're safe.
course.
We're safe. Don't worry. And
That's good.
I know how to get rid of bad spirits. I have a lot of crystals, so we're good. So let's talk about your character. Like,
Okay.
like explain more about it if my fans from the East Coast are not familiar with you.
Well, that one, I kind of started kind of like a hippie almost. So I was just kind of I came out like in this yoga jumpsuit and that's just kind of what I leaned into, like this like the peace thing. But I feel as I started to wrestle more and develop more of my moveset, it was just so aggressive. So I started to lean more away from that. So now I'm more like I would say like I'm kind of equivalent to 70s, 80s, like maybe glam rocker almost. I feel like that's where I'm at. But yeah, I'm very high energy, super my wrestling's very aggressive, so that's why I felt like I had to kind of change it up. I feel like that's harder to translate anyway. Anyways, for me, I don't think it was the right fit. But like, it's always learning, you always change and evolve. So I'm kind of just trying things out right now and seeing what sticks.
So what kind of you said 70s and 80s. Do you have any 70s or 80s music on your playlist? And
Oh, for sure. I have on Spotify, I
what
have
would
like
you
a
be
whole
your ideal top 10 playlist if you had one just to have it for a road trip or a workout? What would you be on it?
top 10. It's a lot. Let me think.
Do top
So
five. Do top
like
five.
like
Don't kill
lately I've
yourself.
been like recently I did a respect show where it was an all women show, and in that show I dressed up as a Kiss member. And so I've just been I was listening to Kiss quite a bit. So I guess Detroit Rock City's on there. Uh, I Was Made for Loving You is easy one. Another one that I feel like is super Adrian-esque is I think I want to say it's Don't Bring Me Down, I think it's called. And then there's another one. It's 'cause my grandpa got me super into that kind of era of music, so that's another reason why I really like that area. So I'm having like a brain blank here because my lately I've been going to the gym a lot, so I've been listening to like different kind of music instead of like that kind of, you know. But um, a lot of on there is like AC/DC, you know, Crocus. I have what's it called? I love Queen, so that's a lot too. It's
Who
I like to
doesn't?
get in there. But
It's
like
amazing.
I feel like that's obvious, you know. Everyone loves Queen. Uh, but yeah, that's like some of the stuff there. I'd have to like go through too again.
I got something really cool one. If you and Lilith Grimm started a tag team, what would you guys be called?
Oh, we've been talking about starting a tag team. So I go by the Cherry Bomb because it's like a cannonball in the corner, the Cherry Bomb spot that I do, and so she wants to kind of do I think it's Tequila Sunrise, and we want to do something with like Cherry and us being together, but we also kind of want to dress up as like 2000-esque kind of gear. So I'm thinking like Team Extreme looking kind of. So that's kind of what we'd end up doing, I feel. Or kind of
You,
merge our styles a little bit.
you know what's kind of funny? All I could think is with her being like the dark, scary sledgehammers, and you with the colors. It'll instantly, if you're a 2000s fan, you go madly back to Kane and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
That'll be like,
that's
I'm,
funny. Like Team Hell No, right?
yeah, I mean, it
That's
goes back.
funny. I've always wanted to do something like that.
I
I
can
really
see
do.
the t-shirt now. You're like on one side is all the shirts like purplish and like with like tie-dyed spots. And the other side of the shirt where Lilith Grimm is, it's like purple and it
Yeah,
has little moons and little ghosts coming out of the back
yes.
of her. And you
That's
guys
such
are
a
touching hands. So it's like the darkness and the light becoming friends, like Yingling. I'm thinking about beer now.
yeah, I
Yin Yang.
feel I feel like that's a pretty good comparison too, because Lilith is a powerhouse, and I'm more technical and more.
Hmm.
I do a lot of lucha stuff, so like it's really good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to tell her. I'll be like, let's look at Hell No
Well,
stuff.
if you want to come back on the podcast in March with Lilith Grimm, please talk to her
Yeah,
because I've been watching Lilith
I'm
for like
interested.
this podcast has existed now for 4 years, and
Yeah.
I've been watching Lilith Grimm for her rise from OVW, and I was supposed to have her on back in the day, but something came up and she never got back to me. But
Mhm.
it's okay, Lilith Grimm. I just I don't want to.
Yeah,
She's
she's awesome. She's just like I know, I get it. She's so busy all the time, and that's like what a great problem to have, you know, because she's just constantly moving around the country, and I admire her very much.
I respect her and everything she does. You can tell that. Don't have the respect
No, for
you.
sure.
I just so
I
sad
will.
that we didn't connect
Yeah,
back in the day because she was in OVW with Al Snow. And Al Snow, you even tell her, Joe, Al Snow has been on Dudes at Ringside.
nice, nice. That's really
Yes,
cool.
Al. That was actually the Thanksgiving episode from a few years ago. And even though Dudes at Ringside ended the day before Thanksgiving last year with lovely Kiara, it had to end early because the Panther needs to relax and sleep in his little cubby hole and relax in his corner.
Real, yeah, for sure. Yeah, holiday season for sure.
Here we go. Thinking about this. If you were a cartoon, what
Okay.
channel would your cartoon be on?
Channel. I don't know actually. That's crazy. I haven't watched TV in a while, so I'm like channel. I'm
Or
like
app. You could put yourself on
or
any of the
app.
fun apps like
Oh,
Peacock. Paramount.
then I want to be on Netflix because I feel like that's kind of what's hot right now. You know, like I want people to look at me.
Would you be directed to kids or would you be like more of a adult cartoon?
I feel like I'm more edgy, so it like I don't know, maybe PG-13 area.
Bob's
Yeah.
Burgers almost.
Yeah, something like that. That'd be pretty cool.
Awesome. Do you when it comes to going to the day before a show, do you pack your bag the day before a show, or are you a rush packer the day of?
It depends. If I have, it's better to like pack before, but sometimes I don't because I have to do a lot of makeup and stuff, and like
Mm.
that kind of sidetracks me all the time because I'm like, okay, then I gotta make sure everything's packed first, or then I gotta put my makeup a certain way, like the bags and everything. Or maybe I don't want to wear a certain gear that day too, because I'm very like, nah, let's screw that, and then I just take it out anyway. So sometimes I am like day of. Oh,
I had to sneeze.
you're good.
Pop tip, podcasters: if you sneeze, mute your microphone. Does not make any
Yeah,
even though I guess like what just happened to the guy? Why did he sneeze? But body.
it happens. It
My
happens. Your
soul was
body.
trying to escape. I had to tap it back into my
Oh yeah,
body.
that's crazy. I feel like um I don't really see that on live TV either when people have to sneeze. So like
I get
they
worried because if I sneeze on my microphone, it's on Spotify. Whoever's driving and watching me is gonna go
they're just gonna hear
crack.
the
Oh, just got quiet, and then went achoo. It's like cause a freaking pileup.
disaster, dude.
Yeah, cause a pileup. Podcaster Joe Panther the Third, and picture like me like this, caused a 15-car pileup in the middle of Los Angeles highway.
Oh my
What?
god.
I don't even live in LA. I don't even live in LA. As a Yankee fan, that's what you get, Dodger fan. You try to cheat.
They would headline it like that though. Good
Yeah.
clickbait.
They'll be like, the Yankee fan caused a 15 pileup in Los Angeles. I didn't know. Leave me alone. I don't want my soul to pop out of my body. um wow, off track. Typical me. So like when it comes to like right before your match, do you have like a certain thing you do? Like, how do you get yourself like ready to
Oh
go, like
wow.
that zone?
This so I do a lot of stretching because I feel like moveset wise, I do a lot of jumping and running, and I don't want to hurt anything. So I do a lot of stretching for like my ankles and my legs, and I do like the sun pose, the sun warrior pose. So I have to make sure my back's stretched too. Neck's very important for me too, because I feel like when you wrestle, you have to have a strong neck. It just, it is what it is because you get thrown around everything. So that's another huge thing for me. So it's a lot of stretching beforehand. And then I just kind of start to hype myself up. Like maybe like we could be like 5 minutes before we're about to go out. And I'll have whatever I have. So if I have my wings or if I have a shawl, I'll start to like fan it out and I'll start to top around and I'll just kind of get the energy up. I used to, recently I had a match like last week. Well, not last week. I had a match not too long ago, right? And um, I started to do this as a joke because I met Jacob Fatu not too long ago. Yeah, and he right before his match he would just start screaming ah, ah. So I started to do that for like as a joke, and it just kind of started to catch on. So now I start to do it because I feel like it actually helps me get the energy that I need up for me about to go out, and so that kind of helps me too.
Wow.
Yeah,
Shout out to Jacob Fatu.
for real, he helped me out. It's a good trick. He
That's
starts.
awesome.
I don't know what it is. It's like the battle cry of it. I don't know. Like you start to get your adrenaline up, and it's just something.
Maybe it's
It helps.
maybe it's
Yeah.
something that they'd learned from Alpha or Sika,
Yeah,
you know?
maybe. I don't know. I should, if I see my, I should ask and see what's up there
Is,
too.
is there any other place within the country or in the world that you would like to travel to that you haven't been to yet?
Oh, there's so many, I feel. So I've traveled so far, I think 7 states. And so I just want to hit so many of them. Like I'm gonna bring Lilith up again because I think not, we had a conversation about this and she told me she had like 35. So after she had said that, I was like, oh, I'm gonna start keeping track of that because I would like to travel all over the country and wrestle. But like I
You should
feel
buy a
another
dartboard.
huh?
You should buy a dartboard and have it on
Yeah,
your wall.
huh? Like so I can figure everything out and I really want to go to Japan to wrestle. I feel like that's another really big spot for me that I really want to see the difference in culture as well. how they do things and everything.
That's a big thing. I've had wrestlers from last year
Hmm.
and some of this year that all have said, "I want to go to Japan. I'll go to Japan." But there's one thing that I always tell the wrestlers: Are you ready for that separate get hit with the reality of the time zone absolutely being upside down? And
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I'm always up. I got bad insomnia.
I
So
get
like,
scared because I try to interview a wrestler from Japan,
yeah.
and I said this time they're like, "No, I'm sleeping." Do this time, that's too early. I'm like,
Yeah, it flips everything, right?
oh
No,
my
for
god,
sure.
you
No,
know?
I get that. I get that. That's a good concern to have though. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, it does change everything. For me though, it's just more like I wanna work that style, because I'm very like I feel like I'm a sponge with wrestling. I just want everything. So
yeah,
whenever I was at RMP, they said they had lucha training in the night. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that too. Whatever you have,
yeah,
give it to me.
yeah. Do you have any fun stories from the ring?
Um, I feel like I feel like there's a lot, but I can't pinpoint one right this moment because I feel I always have a pretty fun time. There hasn't really, so far anyway, there hasn't been like a crazy horrible experience, in the ring or anything. So that's that. Fun wise though, like I don't know, I have a lot of fun when I'm wrestling. So I
I
don't.
mean, like excitement. Like, is there anything that you've done in a match that you're like, okay, I'm gonna
Ooh,
try this move, and then when you finally hit it, and you're during practice you hit it, but when you hit it in a match, it clicks. Like the
right.
crowd just pops.
Oh wow. So one of the things that I had written down, I was like, I really want to wrestle in New Mexico since I was training in Colorado. So it was like I have to freaking wrestle in my home state, right? So I went to DCCW in February, and that's where I debuted the cherry bomb, the cannonball, and that match I feel like things just kind of clicked. Everything just kind of went right for me, and so when I hit, like, I yelled the cherry bomb and I ran and I hit it, the crowd went pretty crazy. And that's just like the first time I ever really used the cannonball. So, like, now when I hit the cannonball, I get kind of more of a height. So, that original one, I just kind of hit it pretty low. So, that's something I feel, I don't know, it's just something in the air of, I was like, yeah, I have to do this all the time now. This is like part of me now? So, yeah, that's something there.
Yeah, that like there's certain wrestlers that they're like they practice a move, and they finally start doing it, and they hit the move, and the crowd just goes
Yes,
absolutely
absolutely wild.
crazy.
See, when I practiced that move, actually, when I practiced that move, that was pretty funny because I had a few of my guy friends that I was trying it out on, and one of them was there's this maybe you're familiar with him, Atiba. So,
Maybe,
yeah, so I practiced it. Bruce Wayne's? Him and Atiba are in a tag uh together. So
maybe.
I was practicing with Atiba, and so I hit. There was one that I hit, and he was like, "Okay, I'm done," and he just got out and he was just grabbing his crotch, and he didn't even tell me that but it was obvious. So I was like, "Oh, I'm so
Oh,
sorry," but like that was like some of the first ones that I hit. I felt so bad, so that's why now I'm like, I get very. Now I have to get up there because I don't want that to happen again.
so what was it like the first time you performed in like your hometown as in a wrestling match? Was it you excited about it? Were you nervous about it? Like, how did
I
it feel?
mean, when it's your home, you just kind of wanna do well. I want to do well in every match. But I feel like that's the one where I really wanted to show out and show everyone what I could do. And that's where, like I said, that match I had in February was the debut match in New Mexico, and I've wrestled I think now 5 times there. So like 4 or 5, and it was very everything, like I said, it just clicked. It kind of felt almost like magic because when I first came out, I was very worried. Like, I don't know how this crowd's gonna respond to me. I've never worked this crowd, and I hadn't really been traveling too much out of Colorado at the time, so I was kind of worried. But whenever they heard I was from New Mexico, that's kind of where things just like they're like, oh, instant click. They are like, okay, she's from New Mexico, then she's our girl. Then that they automatically claimed me, so that felt
Yeah.
good. And then I feel like when they started to see me go, they're like, "Oh, okay, hell yeah." And so now it's more like I really cherish the New Mexico crowd because I feel very welcome. I feel very claimed, like everyone very much I think I turned into kind of a crowd favorite there, and that's that's very important to me. Yeah.
Awesome. Before we go, if my fans want to pick up anything of yours, like merch and everything, where is there anywhere we could? Is there you have a store or anything they could buy
Yeah.
it?
Pro wrestling tees is yeah, so it would just be Adrian Myscira as the store. Yeah.
Okay. If my fans want to follow you on social media, how can they find you?
I'm on Instagram, Adrian Myscira. On Facebook, it's Adrian Myscira. I had Twitter, got suspended, so so don't look there,
Uh-oh.
I guess. But that's really it, social media wise, I think. Yeah.
All right. Before we go, if there's any young fans that wanted to get into the wrestling business, what kind of advice would you have for them?
Mm, oof. This business is very hard. Think about it. So think about it very hard. I would say try to have some kind of like always have a backup plan to be educated, everything too. But if you're like going to pursue wrestling, be smart about it. Find a wrestling school. Find a good one too. There's a lot of there's not too many. It's hard to find like a really good solid school, but it's worth it. It's so worth it when you find a good one because you really do stand out. So I guess I would say do your research, before hopping into everything. It's just really know your options and know what you're getting into.
Awesome. Adriana, I want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast. And I want to wish you a very happy and safe birthday because her
Yes,
birthday
thank
is
you.
coming up. Just don't go too crazy. And if you have a match that day, win it one for the Panther Man. So
Heck yeah, for sure.
everybody wish her happy birthday. If you see her on social media, give her a nice happy birthday on Instagram. Don't go crazy, but just wish her happy birthday. I always say advice, be kind to the wrestlers, don't stalk them, be mean. Give them
Yeah,
presents and sweetness because they do stuff that we love to watch.
for
I'm
sure.
Joe Panther III,
Yeah, I'm Adrian.
and we will catch you in the next one.
Awesome.